a great night. This is a lot of people coming together with a vision of two great brands, Brooks Brothers and Hampden-Sydney College. I'd like to start off my conversation by saying I'm going to be brief and be bright and be gone. And then the lady with the hat, Nita Garland, will say a few words. But I will start off this way and say, suit by Brooks Brothers. Where's Jim Moore? Jim, shirt. Shirt by Brooks Brothers. Shoes by Brooks Brothers. Mind, body, and soul by Hampden-Sydney College. Now, why would a college get together with a great store? Why would a great college like Hampden-Sydney College come together with a great store like Brooks Brothers? Well, it's a very simple reason, ladies and gentlemen. It's because we're both amazing, powerful, and iconic brands. We are some of the most important brands in this country. Hampden-Sydney, 1775. Brooks Brothers, 1818. Hampden-Sydney boasts on its original board of trustees Patrick Henry and James Madison, people that literally founded this great world that we live in, this great country that we live in. Patrick Henry, a school that educated Hampden-Sydney, a school that graduated 7 of Patrick Henry's sons. And I'm reminded of my good friend Josiah Bunting, Hampden-Sydney's former president, a BMI graduate and head of BMI at one point, who was asked in Houston, Texas years ago when he was president, Sir, Mr. President, why would I send my son to Hampden-Sydney? Well, good lady, it's good enough for 7 of Patrick Henry's sons, good enough for your son. So that's the kind of place that we are, a very traditional and thoughtful brand, just like Brooks Brothers. David Martin, who started the Martin Ad Agency, Hampden-Sydney class of 58. You might not have heard of the Martin Ad Agency, but you know the commercials, the Geico commercials, right? The caveman commercials. That's a Hampden-Sydney alum. I try to convince them to say, so easy, even a Randolph Macon graduate can do it. We went with the caveman motif, but that was his decision. I tried to give him some advice. Actually run by John Adams, Hampden-Sydney class 71. But he has a wonderful book about being the brand and creating a brand. He says a brand is an expectation of performance, an expectation of excellence. And when you put on a Brooks Brothers suit, I bought this suit in 1998. Now, I'm still pretty fit to be able to wear it. But when you put on a Brooks Brothers suit and you buy a Brooks Brothers blazer, you're thinking to yourself, I'm buying quality. I'm buying something that's timeless. It's not fad. It's not going anywhere. It's going to look great 20 years from now. It'll look great 20 years ago. Your grandfather wore it and he looked good. Your great-grandfather looked good. And even when you have your great-great-grandkids, they'll look great in Brooks Brothers. And they won't fall off the stoop like I did. Every president has worn Brooks Brothers, I think, since Lincoln, all the way up to Barack Obama has worn a Brooks Brothers suit when they were inaugurated. So good enough for Lincoln to Obama, good enough for our guys as well. But that's an expectation of quality, of tradition, and excellence, much like an education from Hampden-Sydney College. Now, we are old school, but not old-fashioned. Our curriculum is rigorous. It's timeless. It is something that will carry you throughout the rest of your life. So, young men, as you look around and you think about our selling points, when it comes to Hampden-Sydney College, we have a great football team and a great stadium. We have great core curriculum. You'll learn Western culture. You'll be able to speak. Moms and dads know this. When we sit at my dinner table, we had the Dean of Wake Forest School of Law at my table a few weeks ago with my lovely wife. She's lovely. She tells me that all the time. But when I sit at a table with 5, 6, or 7 Hampden-Sydney men like Richard here, we talk about Socrates. We talk about Western civilization. We talk about literature and the aesthetic. And these men aren't faking it, Mom and Dad. They've learned it. In fact, our faculty have beaten it into their heads. They're getting a great education that will carry them forward. It is not an old-fashioned education. It is a timeless education because many of the jobs of these young people, especially these handsome boys right here, when they graduate from Hampden-Sydney in about 18, 19 years, we don't have a clue what job they'll be in, that they'll take. We don't know what jobs are going to be important at that time. But I can promise you this. They'll need to be able to think critically, write well, be well-spoken, and doggone it, they're going to look good because they're the important Brooks Brothers too. Right? So, I'll just leave you with this. That when you have great brands like Brooks Brothers and great brands like Hampden-Sydney together, right, it's an expectation of performance and of excellence. As my good friend Jim Moore said, we kind of grew up together. And we're the bigger brother, by the way, because we're older. So, I will say this in closing. When you think about that next blazer you're about to purchase, you think about that education you're about to sink some money into, don't think about it as a purchase. Don't think about it as an expense. Don't think about it as an expenditure. Ladies and gentlemen, think about that next purchase of your next blazer or suit, your education, which is even more important. Think about it as an investment. You're investing in the most important thing in the world. Your brain, how you carry yourself, how you comport yourself. We'd love to have you all be part of the Hampden-Sydney family, to be a Hampden-Sydney man, and I also would like to see you do it at Brooks Brothers, which I think is one of the classiest brands in America.